In a world where modern horse breeders spend $200 to $500 per horse on DNA testing, Amish farmers breed draft horses worth $5,000 to $15,000 using only visual observation and 200 plus years of knowledge. Its systematic evaluation produced 95% soundness rates working 15 to 25 years, compared to modern horses at 60 to 70%. Observational selection. The breeding program begins with visual assessment of physical conformation, the body structure, and skeletal alignment, determining whether a horse can sustain decades of heavy draft work without breaking down. Height requirement is 16 to 18 hands, at the shoulder 64 to 72 inches tall. This range provides mass and leverage for moving heavy loads while maintaining agility for farm work. Horses below 16 hands lack power. Horses above 18 hands develop joint problems from excessive size, stressing bones beyond structural capacity. Weight standard is 1,600 to 2,200 pounds for mature working draft horses, providing momentum and strength for breaking ground with plows and sustaining 8 to 10-hour workdays. Experienced Amish horsemen judge weight by eye with accuracy within 50 to 100 pounds based on build, muscle development, and bone structure. Bone thickness at the cannon bone, lower leg bone between knee and ankle must reach 9 to 11 inches in circumference for handling draft work stress. Thin-boned horses develop stress fractures and chronic leg problems. Assessment happens by measuring tape or experienced hands circling the leg and judging thickness by feel. Hoof size and quality determine whether horses remain sound through years of work. Large, well-formed hooves with thick walls, strong heels, and proper angle distribute weight effectively. Small hooves cause bruising. Weak walls crack under stress. Contracted heels create circulation problems. Temperament observation extends over months or years, revealing fundamental personality and stress response. Calm horses handle noise and unexpected events without panicking. Nervous horses spook at machinery and create dangerous situations. Temperament is partially genetic breeding. Nervous horses produces nervous offspring, regardless of training. Bloodline knowledge. Breeding decisions rely on oral family tree memorization, extending 5 to 8 generations back through sire and dam lines, providing genetic information stored entirely in community memory and reputation. The stallion's lineage is known by reputation, which mares bred, what offspring resulted, how offspring performed, what strengths and weaknesses appeared. A stallion producing offspring with exceptional stamina becomes known for stamina production. A stallion whose offspring show weak pasterns develops reputation, limiting breeding opportunities despite individual excellence. Mare lineage receives equal attention. Daughters of proven working mares command premium fees because maternal lines contribute equally to offspring genetics. A mare from a family producing calm horses passes this temperament advantage. A mare whose mother and grandmother worked soundly into their 20s suggests longevity genetics. Community sharing happens through conversations at markets, auctions, and work frolics where horsemen discuss which stallions produce quality offspring, which bloodlines develop problems, and which combinations produce exceptional results. This network functions as a living genetic database, more comprehensive than any individual could maintain. Inbreeding avoidance happens through generational memory. When considering breeding, the farmer mentally traces both bloodlines back several generations, checking for common ancestors, creating genetic concentration, producing defects. Modern breeders use coefficient calculations. Amish farmers use memorized family trees, producing identical results. Work performance testing. Definitive selection happens through years of actual work performance, revealing genetic potential that visual assessment can only predict, sorting horses that look good from those that actually perform under sustained stress. Young horses between ages 3 and 5 enter progressive testing, starting with light pulling, advancing to full draft work by age 5. 3-year-olds pull small cultivators 2 to 4 hours daily. 4-year-olds advance to plowing for 6 hours. 5-year-olds work full 8 to 10-hour days. Plowing endurance test is particularly revealing. Plowing requires sustained pulling for 8 to 10 hours daily over weeks during spring planting. horses must maintain consistent pace hour after hour. Horses that tire after 4 hours, slow significantly by afternoon, or show lameness after days of consecutive plowing are removed from breeding consideration. Hauling strength test uses loaded wagons weighing 2,000 to 4,000 pounds pulled up hills and across fields, testing maximum pulling capacity and willingness. Some horses possess physical strength but lack mental willingness to pull hard. These lazy horses are culled because the trait is partially genetic. Temperament testing under real work reveals response to machinery, noise, harvest chaos, automobile traffic, and unexpected situations. Horses remaining calm, focused, and responsive demonstrate psychological resilience, making them valuable workers and desirable breeding stock. Only the top 20 to 30% of young horses tested are retained for breeding consideration. The remaining 70 to 80% are sold as working horses but removed from breeding to prevent diluting quality. This selection pressure is far more severe than modern breeding, where nearly any registered horse finds breeding opportunities. Stallion selection. The stallion contributes 50% of offspring genetics, making stallion quality the single most important breeding decision. Age requirement of 5 to 8 years minimum ensures the stallion has proven himself under years of work. The exceptional 3-year-old might develop chronic lameness by age 5, revealing genetic weakness only time exposed. Requiring proven performance eliminates speculation. Temperament standard for stallions is even higher than for mares because aggressive or nervous stallions create dangerous situations. The stallion must be calm enough for single-person control, gentle around mares and foals, and stable during breeding season excitement. Stallions showing aggression are gelded regardless of working ability. Breeding fees of $200 to $500 per mare cover stallion maintenance costs, travel to mare locations, and risk compensation. Fees also function as quality control stallions, producing poor offspring lose breeding demand, causing fees to drop. The market mechanism provides continuous feedback about stallion quality. Limited breeding of 10 to 20 mares per season prevents overuse compromising stallion health or working ability. Natural breeding limits impose sustainable breeding loads. This limitation means only the most proven stallions achieve full breeding schedules. Community reputation determines breeding opportunities more than any other factor. A stallion producing consistently excellent offspring develops reputation spreading through the horseman network, creating demand from farmers dozens of miles away. A stallion producing mediocre offspring sees opportunities dry up regardless of individual excellence. Mare selection. The mare contributes 50% of offspring genetics, plus uterine environment and maternal care, determining early foal development. Proven working requirement means mares must demonstrate 3 to 5 years of field work before breeding consideration, ensuring physical soundness and work ethic worth passing to offspring. The beautiful young mare that hasn't proven herself might carry weaknesses only work stress reveals. Strength and stamina demonstration shows the mare can sustain full workdays without excessive fatigue, maintain condition despite hard work, and recover quickly between work sessions. Mares that lose weight despite feeding, tire by afternoon, or require multiple rest days indicate metabolic or structural problems. Leg and hoof soundness is particularly critical because mares must carry pregnancy weight plus continue light work during gestation without developing lameness. Mares with questionable legs or weak hooves often break down during pregnancy. Sound legs and quality hooves are non-negotiable. Temperament in mares directly affects foal temperament through genetics and maternal behavior. Calm mares raise calm foals through relaxed handling of situations and patient interaction. Nervous mares raise nervous foals who learn anxiety through maternal example. Breeding age window of 4 to 10 years optimal reflects balance between physical maturity and reproductive health. Mares younger than 4 lack maturity to safely carry pregnancy while continuing work. Mares older than 10 show declining fertility, though many breed successfully into teens. Every other year breeding schedule allows mares to recover body condition between pregnancies, wean foals properly, and return to working fitness before next breeding. Breeding annually stresses mares, reducing both working and reproductive longevity. Breeding timing. The breeding season coordination with farm work cycles and natural horse reproduction patterns creates the spring breeding, producing spring foals that wean in fall when farm work slows, allowing time for mare foal management. Natural breeding exclusively means the stallion is brought to the mare's farm when she shows heat signs, allowed to breed naturally, and return to his home farm afterward. No artificial insemination, no shipped semen, no embryo transfer, just the breeding method horses have used for millennia. This natural approach has lower conception rates than modern assisted reproduction, but requires no veterinary intervention and no expensive technology. The spring breeding window from April through June targets conception, resulting in foals born the following April through June after the 11-month gestation. Spring foaling allows foals to grow through summer on pasture, develop strength before winter, and wean in fall when declining farm work allows time for the extra management that weaning requires. The mare heat cycles occurring every 21 days for 5 to 7 days provide multiple breeding opportunities through the spring season. If the mare doesn't conceive during her April heat, she cycles again in May, offering another breeding chance. The natural 21-day cycle means most mares have 2 to 4 breeding opportunities during the season, even if they don't conceive on the first attempt. The single breeding per heat cycle reflects both practical reality. Bringing stallions to mares requires coordination and travel that limits breeding frequency and observed experience. That single breeding achieves 60 to 70% conception rates. Multiple breedings per heat don't significantly increase conception while increasing stallion travel and mare stress. The 11-month gestation averaging 340 days determines the foaling date based on breeding date. A mare bred in late April foals in late March the following year. Accurate gestation tracking requires remembering breeding dates and counting forward 11 months. No ultrasound pregnancy checking, no due date calculations from veterinary software, just mental arithmetic and calendar awareness. Foal evaluation. The assessment process begins at birth when the foal must demonstrate normal development and continues through 5 years of progressive evaluation, identifying the exceptional individuals worth retaining for breeding versus the average performers better suited for working careers without breeding responsibilities. The birth assessment within the first 2 hours determines whether the foal is healthy and normal legs straight without angular deformities, breathing regular and unlabored, standing within 2 hours, and nursing within 3 hours. Foals failing these basic thresholds receive immediate veterinary attention if warranted, but those with significant genetic abnormalities are humanely euthanized rather than allowed to suffer or enter breeding populations. The 6-month evaluation examines growth rate, early conformation, and movement quality. Foals growing slowly despite adequate nutrition may have metabolic problems. Foals showing crooked legs, poor hoof quality, or awkward movement indicate structural problems that will worsen with growth. The calmest, most confident foals at 6 months typically mature into the easiest horses to train and handle. The 1-year evaluation continues tracking growth, assesses developing conformation against breed standards, and evaluates trainability signs through early halter training and leading lessons. The yearlings responding quickly to training, showing curiosity rather than fear, and handling calmly despite their youth indicate the intelligence and temperament that makes them valuable breeding prospects. The 2-year evaluation coincides with breaking to harness when formal training begins introducing the young horse to equipment, voice commands, and light work. The horses accepting training readily, learning commands after few repetitions, and showing the willing attitude that makes training easy are marked as superior prospects. The horses resisting training, showing fear or stubbornness, or requiring excessive repetition indicate psychological problems that breeding would perpetuate. The 3-year evaluation starts light pulling work, revealing whether the excellent conformation and bloodline translate into actual working ability. Some horses that look ideal fail this practical test, showing inadequate strength, poor stamina, or unwillingness to work despite perfect physical structure. These horses are removed from breeding consideration because appearance without performance has no breeding value. Culling system. The selection pressure maintaining breed quality comes from harsh culling, removing the bottom 30 to 40% of each generation from breeding consideration. Despite their functionality as working horses, a brutal honesty about genetic quality that modern breeding's inclusive participation ethic cannot match. The gelding of inferior males prevents poor genetics from spreading. The young stallions showing structural weakness, health problems, poor temperament, or inadequate work performance